So on my last video, I made a Google Doc asking you guys to fill it out and write the questions you guys are curious about regarding community college, and I got a decent amount of questions. So part 3, let's fucking go. Alright, first question. Question number 1. What should I keep my GPA, and will it help better with scholarships? Very basic question, very simple question, but the answer is very simple as well. I've told you guys that the most important thing for community college transfers, if you want to transfer well, is your GPA. For me personally, I got a 4.0 because I wanted to make sure that my chances of transferring was very high, that I was the most competitive. I didn't want to make any risks. You know, why risk getting a lower GPA than perfect? I wanted to up my chances to the maximum potential, so I got a 4.0. However, my recommendation, if you want to be a competitive transfer applicant, is to maintain your GPA minimum 3.7. 3.7 is the minimum. The only exception I'd say is if you're in, you know, like very difficult majors like computer science. You know, what's another difficult major? I don't really know. I mean, there's no, other than computer science, I think, you know, business a 4.0 is doable. It's just that I personally didn't want to take those math classes. But if you're in the humanities, you know, in that area, a 4.0 is completely doable. But worst case scenario, you know, you never want to think like this, but worst case scenario, you should get a 3.5. If you get lower than that, you know, getting into a top 25 college is still possible, but your chances are decreased greatly. So get a 4.0, obviously, you know, aim for a perfect 4.0, but minimum 3.7. If you're CS and stuff like that, 3.5, but don't, regardless of major, regardless of field, you shouldn't get below a 3.5. And will it help better with scholarships? Yeah, like I said, I got a transfer scholarship, a half ride, and I didn't even know that this scholarship even existed. I got notified after I got accepted, and you know, I guess my GPA helped because that was the only thing they looked at. They didn't look at my extracurriculars. My GPA was the only thing that was you know, great. So that's why I'm assuming they gave me the transfer scholarship. And it's also very interesting because they told me that I had to maintain a certain GPA at USC in order to still get the transfer scholarship. And I remember my first semester, I got like a below 3.0. I got like a 2.7 or 2.6. And I think the minimum I needed was a 3.0 to still get the scholarship, but they still gave it to me. So, you know, I didn't ask any questions. I was just like, all right, I'll take it. But obviously I upped my GPA the later semesters, but yeah, your GPA helps with scholarships for sure. All right, question number 2. Should I join clubs and special programs at community college? That's a good question. I'm actually going to make a separate video on this in the future. Like I said, the most important thing for CC transfers is GPA. Your college essays, your extracurriculars like clubs and, what did she say? Special programs. They do look at it, but it's not really weighed upon heavily. So, you know, like certain groups or clubs or organizations at community college, like, you know, biology club. There was a fucking World of Warcraft club. I mean, dude, just focus on your GPA, dude. Don't be joining these clubs at a community college. It's not even weighed upon heavily. They don't really care about that kind of stuff. And it's much better to do these kind of organizations and clubs at an actual 4-year university. Community college, just focus on your GPA. If joining these clubs prevent you from getting the GPA that you need, which is a 3.7, don't join it. And it's not, you know, from experience, I did try out a club in the beginning, but it really wasn't worth my time, in my opinion. It was just, it was a fucking waste of time, to be completely honest. It was not a good use of time. But, you know, extracurriculars, clubs, you can if you want, but like I said, if it prevents you from getting a good GPA because you're spending so much time at these organizations, don't do it, dude. It's not worth. Might as well do it at an actual college you transfer to, because GPA is the most fucking important. Question number 3, let's go. Before you took courses at community college, did you check if it transfers to USC? The answer is, of course. Of course I did. In my first transfer video, I tell you guys that, you know, it's very important that you guys choose the specific college you want to transfer to. So let's say that you're at community college and you want to go to Berkeley or UCLA or UCLA or USC. You have to know the college you want to go to, because each college has different requirements. They have different criterias, different mandatory classes that you have to fulfill in order to even apply to the college. It's not even being competitive. Like some schools, if you don't have these classes that they ask for, you can't even apply. Like no matter how great your GPA is, if you have a 4.0 and you do the wrong classes, they're not even going to look at your application. They're just going to be like, damn dude, this dude did very well, but he wasn't paying attention. So adios to the application. So you got to know which classes transfer over. For me, since I knew I wanted to go to USC, I looked at my articulation agreement for my major, which was journalism and communication, and it told me, like, these aren't the exact classes, I forget, but it was like, you know, psychology, history, you know, sociology or whatever. And I had to like fulfill all the criteria that they asked for, including my GEs. So yeah, you have to know. I mean, if you really want to transfer successfully to the college that you want to go to, it's a given. Like you have to know which classes transfer over, because there's so many classes that you can take. It doesn't mean that they're all going to transfer over. You know, the worst thing that you want to do is fucking just go to community college blindly, without having any knowledge, and then just taking all these random ass classes, and then, you know, once you submit your application, the classes don't even transfer. That is the ultimate worst case scenario. That means, dude, you just wasted all your time. You know, the most you want to stay at community college is 2 years. 2 years should be the max. You should even be thinking about 3. If you're at community college for more than 2 years, dude, you're wasting a lot of your time. And you know, people say, oh, you know, everybody has a different timeline, you know, everyone has a different pace on how they work. Well, yeah, but dude, 2 years should be the max. You know, if you're there longer than 2 years, that means all your friends, all your peers, all your homies are, you know, rising up the ranks while you're just, you know, doing nothing at community college. 1 year is completely doable. 2 years is very doable, and 2 years should be the max. 3 years, no. Some people may say, oh, you know, you could say 3 years, but those are the people that usually don't transfer well. Coming from experience, 2 years is very doable. Don't waste your time. You know, time goes by fast, but at the same time, time is very valuable. Don't be wasting your time living at community college for hella years. Like I said, I met this one dude who was at community college for 7+ years, and this dude was hella proud. He thought he was hella cool, dude. He's like, yo man, I was here for 7 years. And I'm just like, damn bro, you're a fucking loser. I mean, it's harsh, but it's true. Make sure you know which classes transfer over, because that'll help you much more in the long run, because you know which specific classes to take. And basically you're making a schedule, and in order to be successful, you have to make a schedule, you have to set goals. That is how you transfer properly and successfully. I have a couple more questions, but like I said, I'm not trying to make these videos too long, but continue to add to the Google Docs question, because all the questions I'm eventually going to answer. And you know, the list is getting pretty long. So far I got like 25 responses, and I only answered what, like 3-4. So keep them coming. I'm gonna give you my honest answers, my honest and straightforward answers. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna tell you like how it is, you know, the reality. Too many people, they don't tell you the truth, you know, they make it sound like it's easier than it really is. And that, in my opinion, is kind of fucked up, dude. You know, don't be misleading people. That's fucked up, okay? So, continue with the list, continue to answer those, or send me those questions, and I will continue to answer them.